Hello, 6th grade language arts. This is Ms. Straub, and you are currently going to be working on your plot notes from Unit 1, taking Cornell notes. Make sure that you listen closely to this video, and you can rewatch it anytime using Edmodo or online in the computer lab. So the first stage of plot is called the exposition, and the exposition is the beginning of the story, and it introduces the setting, the characters, and the conflict. We'll talk about setting first. Setting is when and where a story takes place. In order to describe the setting of a story, you need to make sure you include both when and where. So let's talk about the setting in the school play by Gary Soto that you've read so far. In order to find the setting of a text, you need to go back in the text and find specific examples. So I looked at lines 1 through 4 and I found our setting right here. In the school play at the end of his 6th grade year, all Robert Suarez had to remember to say was "Nothing's wrong, I can see" to a pioneer woman who was really Belinda Lopez. We know that they are in a school play, so this takes place at a school. We also know that it's during Robert Suarez's 6th grade year and that Belinda Lopez is playing a pioneer woman. So we know that it doesn't take place in the future. They're not living on Mars or anything. And we also know that it doesn't take place in the past because Belinda Lopez is playing a pioneer woman, and pioneers were people in the past. So we discovered our when and where the school play takes place. The next part of exposition is characters, and there are two types of characters, major and minor. And characters can be people, animals, and things that take part in the action of a story. Now, if they don't take part in the action, then they're probably not very important to the storyline. They could just be background people, so you wouldn't really count those as major or minor characters. So again, I went into the text and I found our characters. Our first character is Robert Suarez. He's our main character. He's who the story revolves around. Our second main character is Belinda Lopez. Belinda Lopez is causing the conflict for Robert Suarez, and we'll get into conflict later and what that means. Mrs. Bunnan is our first minor character. She plays a small role in the school play, but it's important that she's there because she is the leader of the class and the leader of the school play. And she gave Robert his role in order to say, "Nothing's wrong, I can see." The other minor characters are the 6th grade class, and they're important because they take a part in the play. And we also know that they are probably scared of Belinda Lopez as well. The final part of an exposition is the conflict, and a synonym for conflict means problem. And if you remember, synonyms mean same word. So conflict and problem, same word, same meaning. In an exposition, it doesn't tell us the entire conflict, but it gives us a hint as to what the conflict's going to be. So again, I went back in the text and I found the conflict. We can take it from what I point out as the setting, where Robert has to say, "Nothing's wrong, I can see" to Belinda Lopez. And then we find out in lines 4 to 5 that Belinda Lopez is actually one of the toughest girls since the beginning of the world, and that people are probably scared of her, so she might be a bully. We can infer that Robert Suarez is going to have a problem with Belinda. That's where we use our strategy, predict. So we've gone over a number of different vocabulary words today for our exposition. Okay, and for exposition, we have to remember that it's the beginning of the story. It introduces the setting, which is the when and the where, the characters, which are the major and the minor, and it gives a hint to tell the reader what the conflict is. And remember, conflict means problem. So remember, guys, exposition is our first stage of plot, and we have 4 more to go. But don't worry, we'll see you again soon, tomorrow, to finish our story at the school play.